Hey guys, it's Heather with NoMuck, and I just wanted to chat with you a little more this week about cleaning up my life and how I got where I am today, which is in South Africa doing community development work in extreme poverty. So anyway, it's been quite a story as to how we got here, and I guess I'll start back. Golly, it's going a while back now. I won't give my age, but I went to university, studied education. I was a high school teacher and a cross-country coach and loved it. Things were great. And then I ended up getting married and fast forward a little bit, and I ended up working at a church with a large missions department and just love that, and just always just had an interest in travel and living overseas and volunteer work and things like that. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then my husband and I, after a few years, we decided to take the plunge and investigate missions. And we actually traveled around the country, the U.S., in an old VW van again with our 2 dogs at the time, just raising awareness for what it was that we were doing. And then through a series of events, we ended up not going and decided to start to have a family, which had actually started beforehand. But I actually struggled with infertility, and it took us a long time to finally get pregnant. And then we did get pregnant, and we had our baby girl, who's now 12. And that was really, really exciting. And then to speed things up a bit, I had my son, and there were issues with him as well, with getting pregnant. But then he was born, and right away we knew that something was wrong with him. So he did end up with a medical issue. As I've mentioned before, it was called eosinophilic esophagitis, and I can give you more details on that later, or you can look it up. But he had and has a very, very severe case of that. So obviously that put missions and travel on the back burner. And so my husband decided to go ahead and go to school to become a firefighter paramedic. That was always a dream of his if we didn't go overseas. And so he did that, and we went on to have 2 more children. Those are stories, each and of their own, but we were really living like the perfect suburban life. And when I say perfect, there were many hard times, especially with my son's disease. And through a series of events with him, like I've said before, we did the Gerson therapy, and that is so labor intensive. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's 8 hours a day of prep work and juicing, and I was interested in natural health before, and that definitely just pushed me over the edge into it. Like, I had to know a lot about natural health, and it was really neat to be studying that, where my husband was a paramedic and was trained more in Western medicine. So it was kind of neat to just combine both of those worlds. And I used to be a public school teacher, so I never thought I would homeschool my kids, and then I wound up homeschooling them. A lot of it was because of Sai's disease. I felt like school could be very challenging for him with food, and I mean, we had just a great group of friends that also homeschooled. It was just a big thing, so there wasn't the issue of socialization or anything like that. And it didn't make sense for us to pursue moving overseas again, but there was just this like continual nudge in our hearts, and we just felt like, God kept saying like, hey, this is what you need to do, even though we were like, how is this even going to work with Silas? And so we investigated a few different ways, and and then we were content to just really do missions like stateside, because that was our heart too. And again, really just through a miracle, Silas ended up in remission, which is quite unusual for the severity of his disease, and I can get more into all of that later. And so it just felt like doors opened again for us to consider moving overseas. So my husband took a scouting trip over here. The kids and I didn't even go with him, so he must know me pretty well. And he just came back and he was like, I really feel like this is it. And obviously there was a lot of talk and prayer and wisdom seeking to make the decision to do this. But we did. And so now we are in South Africa, and it's a very wonderful and beautiful country. It's very diverse, and there are so many amazing aspects of it. And then in the areas where we work, there's a lot of brokenness and poverty. And now we just see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, because it was just so great that my husband went on to get the training that he did to become a firefighter and paramedic, because he can really use that here. And then he also got involved with aquaponic farming when we were in the States to help supplement just fruits and veggies for Silas's diet. And so now he gets to do that over here, and it uses 90% less water, and we're in a major water crisis. So it's just, yeah, we couldn't have played it out any better than it worked out. And there were incredibly hard times within the journey, incredibly hard times when in the moment you're just like, I don't get this doesn't make sense, I'm so frustrated, what is happening? And then now you can look back and be like, oh, I completely see why that happened now, and all this has worked out so much better this way than I ever could have planned it myself. So we're just really, really grateful for that. Yeah, that's just kind of where we are now. There's so much more to share, and I'm so excited to share more with you guys. But like I mentioned in the video last week, I just want to encourage you to figure out, what's your dream? What's that thing that just keeps nudging at your heart? And just take baby steps. That's part of No Muck. For us, the theme of No Muck is cleaning it up in every area of your life. Whether it's your diet, your household products, living simply, whatever it is, cutting down on cups of coffee, I don't know, whatever it is that you think it's going to take to clean up your life enough so that you can just ultimately be the person you want to be, and just to live out the dream that you want to do. So, this year in 2018, I would just take time to figure out, what is my purpose in life? What is my calling? What is that thing that just constantly stirs my heart? And then let's just take baby steps together to make that actually happen. Because if somebody had told me at my age that I was going to just pack up my life and move overseas, I would have said that you were crazy. But it's all worked out, and I'm so thankful. Regardless of what happens down the road, I'm just so thankful that we just took the opportunity and we just did it. So that's all I have for this week. I just wanted to share a little bit more about my background, so as you guys watch, you can be like, who is this lady? And so I hope you found it a little bit encouraging, and I will plan on seeing you all next week. And just remember, a life with no muck is your best life. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.